What's up, YouTube? DaAveragegamer Shawn here, bringing you my Season 5 Walking Dead finale thoughts, and then we're going to talk about the season in general. Last night I actually tried to do this video, but then I just started rambling and talking, and it was all out of order, and I couldn't remember names. So now I have a list of names, so I can remember. There's a lot of people, there are a lot of people on this show right now, and you can get confused very easily. And then once I talk about the finale a little bit, then we're going to talk about the season in general and possible things going on in the future. I can say this, when season 6 starts and when the spin-off show Fear the Walking Dead starts, those are going to be like reviewed weekly on the channel, like how I do my Power Ranger Dino Charge review. That's how everything is going to be. I'm adding reviews to the channel because I like reviewing stuff. Hopefully there'll be some kind of nice background music to this, whether it's Pokemon, Power Rangers, or something. There should be some kind of background music to this, so you don't be hearing me talk in plain silence boringly. So for those who have not seen the finale or this season or any Walking Dead stuff yet, I don't know why did you click on this video. Your spoiler warning is over in 5, 4, 3. So nobody died in the season finale, which was very, very surprising. So it's leading me at the beginning of season 6 that I feel like I'm a teacher. I got my paper in hand, I got a pen. Like, so class, today on The Walking Dead, what did we learn? We learned don't be a dick like Father Gabriel. Let me stop. But nobody died. So it's leading me to believe that in the beginning of season 6, we're going to have like this huge set piece of explosions and fireworks that we didn't get. Well, did we get it this season? But anyways, nobody died, but this episode started off with Morgan. If you don't know who Morgan is the black man that started off the season with Rick. When he woke up from a coma, he had the son, and then he had another episode focused on him in like season 3, I believe. I think it was called, damn it, forgot what episode was called. Like, I forgot, whatever. But he had his own episode, was focused on him and like how he went crazy. He had like his whole town by himself that he just fortified for walkers and people. And now he's finally in the world looking for Rick. And while he's looking for Rick, the 2 members of the Wolves try to attack him. This man is like Yoda mixed with Bruce Lee, and he's just whooping their ass with a broomstick or a mop stick or something like that. Fends them off, but most importantly, he does not kill them. Morgan is in this like complete zen state where he's not killing people. And I forgot to pause the Flash. All I did was mute it. I'm stupid. I'm trying to catch up on the Flash, so I can review that next week when the finale, or whenever the finale happens. I can be all caught up on the Flash too. Next week there will be an Arrow. But anyway, that's off topic. So we get Morgan. He doesn't kill the Wolves. The Wolves are going to be a stand-in for the scavengers in the comics for the show. So the Wolves are like this group of bad people, and then we're gonna have another group of people called the Saviors, or the something like that, coming in as well for season 6. So we're gonna have 2 new factions joining our survivors and Alexandrians. So we flash forward, well, we come back a little bit. We see that they are gonna have like this meeting to talk about Rick, and then Maggie is trying to convince Deanna that Rick is a good person, his actions are wrong. And then I'm probably going a little out of order of that episode itself, but just bear with me, guys. We're just talking about the episode. And then Rick wakes up from his nice little sleep after his goddamn fight with Portion Pete. So he's talking to Carol, who's in the room? Carol, Glenn, and Michonne. And Rick and Carol are putting on this facade. Like, Carol's all like, why'd you steal the guns? Why didn't you tell her? Yada, yada, yada. Rick is playing along. But later in the episode, he tells Michonne that him, Daryl, and Carol had stolen guns to, just in case they needed to, take over the place and then whip everybody into shape, queue off of who they need to. And Michonne's like, why didn't you tell me before? Rick is all like, because you're the only person that can stop me. And then she's like, do you think I will stop you? I'm down with you till the end. So there's more shipping there. And then we get another scene with Rick and his son Carl. How could I almost forget Carl? With Rick and Carl, where he's pretty much telling Carl to stay home, and Carl's like, oh, so this is home now? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, I'm not afraid for you, I'm afraid for them. They need us to lead them, protect them, and teach them, and all that stuff. And then around the same time, we cut to Glenn. He notices that Aiden is in the woods, and I think at the same time, Father Gabriel went to the woods to try to sack himself off because he's feeling guilty about everything and all that stuff. And then there was another scene. There's a lot going on in this episode. It's another scene with Father Gabriel. He, like I said, he went off into the woods. And then there was another scene with Carol. He went to Portia Pete's house, pretty much threatened the nigga to go work on Tara, because in the previous few episodes, they went to go get supplies and stuff. She got injured with all the bomb and stuff. She's injured, and he's the only person that can treat her. He's the only physician in the place. And what else really happened in this episode? We cut to Daryl, and I want to say his name is Aiden. I hope his name is Aiden. We're going to call him Aiden. We're going to say Daryl and Aiden are still out looking for people. They come across this warehouse with trucks and fruits and tomatoes and stuff. So they're trying to get supplies, but it turns out to be a wolf's trap. And they're in a thing. Later in the episode, Daryl is pretty much ready to sacrifice himself. People are ready to sacrifice themselves. But then he gets talked out of it. As soon as they're about to fight off, Morgan comes and saves them. Then Daryl is like, oh, come back with us, we have the thing. And then Morgan is like, no, I'm just here to save you guys, all life is precious. Well, I just wanted to help you guys out, all life is precious. Then he goes off and who's like, hey, I'm just looking for where I need to go, I'm lost. He shows him a map, and then Daryl notices that it's like a message from Rick on there, so of course he talks to him and all that off scene, yada yada yada. And then we cut to Sasha. She was shooting zombies while she's digging them up. While she's shooting them, she's burying them and stuff, and for some reason she decides to lay in with them. So I guess that's kind of like her zen moment, like, okay, I finally killed enough of them, I feel safe, I can rest. But then later in the episode, okay, before I talk about later in the episode, we cut to Glenn following Nicholas in the woods. Nicholas shoots him in the shoulder, and then there's like this dramatic fight scene for the rest of the episode with Glenn versus Nicholas, which was very, very well done, I think. Too bad Nicholas didn't die. Then there's another, all this is going down while they're starting to have the meeting. Noticeable people missing from this meeting right now is Pete, Rick, Father Gabriel, Sasha, Glenn, and Nicholas, because we all know Daryl and Aiden, they're out looking for people, so they weren't going to show up, period. So they're all talking. All the survivors are saying their piece about Rick and how he's like been out there so long, he knows what it takes to survive. People are listening. Maggie's trying to, then Maggie for some reason goes off and listens. No, after all the survivors say their piece, Diana says, hey, Father Gabriel told me not to trust you guys, and then not less than a day later he told me not to trust you guys. All this stuff happens, so like, why should I trust you guys? And then they're like, oh, you're talking about somebody who's not here, so you're pretty much saying he say she say stuff right now. So then that's when Maggie goes off. But at this time, Father Gabriel comes back into the place, But when they're going to the meeting, so he gets back right in time for the meeting. And Father Gabriel, when he was out, he was about to kill a walker. Well, he kills a walker, yada yada yada. He's crying like a little bitch. He comes back in like this weird headspace, and comes back in this weird headspace. And the guy Hayes like, hey, when you come in, close and lock the gate up. He doesn't do that. And then that's when Rick and Shawn are talking. So he's about to go to the meeting, but he notices like there's walker blood and stuff. So he goes and looks at the gate, closes the gate, and then he has to fight off some walkers. While he's doing that, he kills one. He brings one back to the meeting. We're almost done. I've been talking for a minute. Brings one back to the meeting, throws it on the ground like somebody left the goddamn gate open. This is what happens if this thing would have came in. Well, they can get in. People can get in. This is why you need me. I can teach you guys. I came to this place. What does mean is he like how many of y'all is gonna have to kill to get y'all to listen? Or what did he say? He said I was thinking how many of you guys I was gonna have to kill to save the rest of you. I'm like, damn, that's some strong shit. And then at the same time, Maggie went off to go find Father Gabriel to get his side of the story. When she finds him, him and Sasha are talking. Sasha's about to lay one into his ass, but she stopped. They're all praying and shit after this. While we're in the woods, Glenn is beating the shit out of Nicholas after he survived after Nicholas pretty much left Glenn dead for walkers, which was how did Glenn survive that? Glenn is a beast. Glenn has always been one of my favorite characters on this show since season 1. He's just been getting stronger and stronger and stronger ever since. But here nor there. So Glenn is at the point where he can, put one to his head, but he's not. He's showing mercy. He brings him back to the town. Well, this whole thing was about mercy, forgiveness, and not, jumping to conclusions. All this is going down. Porch Dig drunk ass Pete comes in. I guess he was roaming the streets looking for Rick so he can settle things with Rick. He goes into the house where Michonne's katana is. Take the katana off the wall. And then while Rick is giving his speech and people are listening and stuff, he, making sense. Like, okay, maybe we can't trust this guy for some reason. We're going to have to learn how to trust him and he can help us. Pete comes in all drunk and shit like, you're not one of us. You're not one of us. Swinging a katana around. And then Diana's husband is all like, calm down, yada yada yada. And Pete slits this man's throat. They hold him down, and Diana looks at him, looks at him, looks at Rick, looks at him again, looks at Rick, says do it, no hesitation. He pulls out that pistol, pop, lays one to his head, kills him. And then next thing we know, you look up, there's Morgan, Daryl, and Aiden. Eye contact, and he's like, Rick? And it's such a como se dice, I don't know how to put it, like a turnaround. Like, cause the last time we saw Rick and Morgan together, Morgan was the crazy one. Rick was trying to bring him down, but now Rick's the crazy one, and Morgan is like looking at him like, nigga, what? Really? So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic on how season 6 is going to lay out. And then we got an ending scene where I guess Aiden or Daryl left their bag or forgot their bag, and now the wolves have pictures of Rick, the group, and everybody in Alexandria, so they know where Alexandria is. Oh yeah, later in the episode, Eugene and Abraham, they finally made up. They're cool again. And who is it? Tara or the other one, Rosita? Rosita is fine as fuck. I didn't know this, but Rosita got them lips. But anyways, that's here nor there. But that's the episode. It it ended on that, you know, that cliffhanger where, oh my gosh, the wolves know about Rick and Alexandria. So I'm really pumped to see what's going to happen in season 6. But season 5 in general, I'm going to talk like another 5 minutes about season 5 in general. The finale was really good, really well directed. Like I said, a lot of people thought, like, people like Nicholas, well, Pete did die. Pete died, so scratch him off the list. I'm about to make a list of people on The Walking Dead and just start picking them off. That's what I'm about to do. So Pete's dead. Nicholas is going to die in the first 2 episodes of the season 6. But the whole thing, people did not like season 5, or at least the first half of season 5, because they said, oh, it's too slow. I don't like this direction. It's not enough action. But artistically speaking, it illustrated very well how they're having to learn how to adapt. They were in a situation where there was no more food, no more water just readily available to them, so they're learning how to adapt to that. And then I think the season started off with Tyrese dying. Then they're coming off the death of Beth, you know. So it's like they're going through so much, and they're at this place where they're just looking for something. They finally found something in Alexandria. Some people are quickly adapting. Some people are taking a long time to adapt to this new situation. And I just think it was so well done. This was like one of the better seasons, if you ask me. I wish I would have got to watch The Talking Dead, but I probably watched that on my own time, because they had Morgan, Daryl, and Carol on there. But I want to watch that. But I just think season 5 was well orchestrated. And then in the future, going into season 7, well, season like 6, 7, and beyond, because if you don't know, they've been having, I don't want to say problems, but they've been like rotating like show directors, show runners, and things like that. That's why it feels like every season there's like a different style or feel to the show. But I think with this, they finally got a permanent guy, and I really liked how this season was like played out. It wasn't just action. It was build up. It was a lot of build up to, I don't want to say it was to a very well done finale for this. It really is building up to the first few episodes of season 6. You have the wolves coming. You have the saviors around the corner, and there's a lot of cool stuff coming from the comics. So if you have not read the comics and the show are 2 separate different things. You have characters in the show that aren't in the comics, characters in the comics that aren't on the show yet. Hopefully Morgan can be that strong African American character that everybody's been wanting. Strong African American male character that everybody's been wanting. Because right now we just got Father Gabriel. We all thought Tyrese was going to be that character, but they ordered down Tyrese from the comics. So hopefully Morgan can be that character. There was a lot of rumors that Daryl was going to die, or Daryl or Glenn were going to die this episode. I'm really glad it didn't happen. If one of those two, I honestly thought Glenn was dead this episode. I honestly thought Glenn was dead. Like, oh my gosh, it was like 2 or 3 moments where it's like, oh my gosh, they're gonna kill Glenn off. Oh, Glenn is my favorite character on the show right now. One of the strongest people in the group, but people probably just look at him and underestimate him. But he's like one of the strongest people in the group, next to Rick and Carol and Daryl. So, like, if you haven't seen this show, please, you have to watch it from the beginning till now. I know there are a lot of rocky parts, a lot of hard parts in this show, but this is a really, really good show. I give the season finale, if I had to rate it, don't take my word for it, I give the season finale like a strong 8 out of 10, because it would have been cool if there was more action, but it was more in how the season was delivered to the season finale, which made it so good in my opinion. So with all that being said, be looking out for weekly Walking Dead related stuff when the spin-off show starts. at the end of summer, beginning of fall, I believe. I think that's going to be like 6 episodes long, and then it's going to fall right into the season premiere of season 6. So if you want to follow me on anything other than YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, all linked in the description below. If you want to play video games with me, all that stuff is down there as well. If you've enjoyed my review, please leave a like. If you didn't, or you disagree with me in some kind of way, please leave a comment about that and what you thought about the season finale and all that good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video out to all your friends and peers so they can leave their opinions as well. I am the Average Gamer Shawn, and I am out of here.